arrangement by which water is caused to flow at increased pressure. Okay, that is pump. Water is applied at an increased pressure. The device used for that purpose is known as pump. Mainly, the pump is divided into two: positive displacement and rotordynamic pump. These are all things you may have studied. Positive displacement pumps are of two types: reciprocating as well as rotary. So, rotordynamic pumps are of centrifugal, turbine, submersible, and propeller. So, these kind of pumps, rotordynamic pumps, are mainly used for irrigation purposes. Okay. So, we'll see more about centrifugal pump and its terms. You all know what is centrifugal pump. It's working and all you know. I'll just introduce some terms to you. So, this is our pump. So, this is our water source. Sometimes the water source may be at a higher level, okay, than that of the pump. Normal case, it is not like that, but in this case, it is like that. So, the water level, the distance between the water level to the center of the pump is known as suction head, static suction head in that case. When the pump level is below the source water level, then the difference between the water level and the pump center is known as static suction head. And the center of the pump to the delivery end is known as static discharge head. Okay, center of the pump to the delivery head is known as static discharge head. And the distance between these two water levels, that is, this is our delivery end and this is our suction end. So the distance between these two water level is known as total static head. Okay, so this is the condition when our pump is below the water level. Okay, below the source water level. A second condition, this is the normal condition. Okay, so here is our well. Pump will be above the well, and the pump will deliver water to a tank. Okay, tank will be overhead. So this is our normal situation. In this case, the level of the water to the center of the pump is known as static suction lift. Okay, it is known as lift. Here it was head because this was above the pump. But here the water level is below the pump. So the pump has to lift the water. So it is known as lift, suction lift. And the distance between the center of the pump to the delivery water level is known as static discharge head. Okay. These two will combinedly form the total static head. So this is the normal terminologies used. And the total head, what do you mean by total head? The total head is the energy imparted to the water by the pump. Some energy have to be imparted on the water, right? Water have to be forced out of the pump. So for that, pump has to insert some energy on water. That energy is actually known as total head. Okay. Because of the total head only the energy comes. The total head is the sum of suction head, delivery head, and other losses which may occur between the in between the pipelines or discharge end or suction end, everything. All the losses will be included in that. So we will see what are the different losses. Okay, you all know that suction head and delivery head you know, but what are the different losses that can occur in pump? And the losses of head in pipelines and fitting is one of the losses. This is one kind of loss. Inside the pipelines and fittings, the losses is accounted as HF is equal to 4FL V square divided by 2GD. This equation you all may know. This is a Darcy-Weisbach equation for head loss in pipelines. So 4FL V square divided by 2GD is the equation. This will happen for delivery end as well as for suction end. Okay, pipe for delivery end as well as for suction end, this loss may happen. Another one loss is loss of head due to sudden enlargement. When we are using different diameter pipes, okay, if we are using different diameter of pipes for pumping the water from its suction to the delivery, then there may be sudden expansion at some points. Okay, suddenly the diameter of the pipe may change somewhere. Okay, in that case, there may be some losses. That loss is accounted as H is equal to K into V1 minus V2 the whole square divided by 2G, where V1 and V2 are the velocity of flow through the pipe before and after the enlargement. Okay. K is the fraction. It is a constant. Okay. It is obtained from graph or in problems. It will they will directly give the K value. Here I haven't explained the terms. Here 4F is the friction factor. L is the length of the pipe. V is the velocity of flow of water through the pipe. G is the acceleration due to gravity, and D is the diameter of the pipe. Okay. So the third loss is contraction. So earlier we have discussed about the sudden enlargement. Okay. If suddenly the pipe diameter is decreasing, then that causes a contraction. Okay. So that loss is accounted as Hc is equal to kv square divided by 2g, where v2 is the velocity after contraction. And there may be some bends. Okay. The pipe may not be always straight. Okay. There may be some bends, some 90-degree bends or some degree bends may be there. For 90-degree bends, there may be some losses in all the bends, right? If there are bends, then there are some losses because the velocity of water will decrease suddenly or it will change suddenly when there is a bend. So there is a loss. Okay. So the bend loss is equal to k v2 square divided by 2g. Again, v is the velocity after bend, g is the acceleration due to gravity, and k is a factor which is obtained from graphs, or it will be directly given to you. So these are the different losses. So now we can what is that? We have the total head as suction head plus delivery head plus all these losses. Okay, if all these losses are there, we can account all these losses. Now, how to calculate the power requirement of pumping? The power requirement of pumping is calculated by using this equation. You can ignore this rho and g when Q is in liter per second. Okay, here the Q is in meter cube per second. Rho g QH divided by 75, where Q is in meter cube per second, H is the total head in meter, and rho is the mass density of water kilogram per meter cube, G is the acceleration due to gravity. So if Q is in liter per second, then we can ignore this two terms. Okay, power is equal to QH by 75 if Q is equal to liter per second. Okay, and rho g can be substituted as gamma also. In this equation also, it is Q is equal to meter cube per second. So this is a general equation for power, but the normally used equation for power is this. Water horsepower is equal to QH divided by 75. Okay. The water horsepower is the power required by a pump to transfer a given amount of water in a unit time, assuming no losses. That is the water horsepower. Okay. Without any loss, if the pump is able to transfer some amount of water, then that power required is known as water horsepower. Okay. So that WHP is equal to QH divided by 75, where Q is in liter per second. I have already explained you that. And Q is in liter per second. You can ignore the other two terms. So Q is in liter per second. H is the head in meter. Head we can calculate as we have discussed earlier. H is equal to suction head plus delivery head plus all the losses accounted. Okay. Q is the discharge from the pump. So this is the equation for water horsepower. But here one point is there. The amount of the power required for delivering the water without any losses. Without any losses. But that thing is not practically possible, because wherever there is a pumping, wherever there is some operation, there may be some losses. Nothing is 100% efficient. Okay. So there may be some losses. So we have to account the losses and calculate the power. Okay. The upcoming slides will show you that. There is shaft horsepower. It is the power required at the pump shaft. Okay. There is a shaft for the pump, and the power required at the pump is connected to some shaft. Okay. So pump is rotating. The impeller of the pump is rotating. There have to be a shaft at the center of the pump to the impeller to rotate. Okay. So that shaft horsepower is calculated as this. WHP, the WHP we have calculated here, divided by pump efficiency. Because here we have told that this WHP is calculated for no losses. If there are no losses, then we can calculate directly this WHP. But there is loss in the pump. So we have to calculate the pump efficiency, divided by the pump efficiency for getting the shaft horsepower. Another one term is brake horsepower. This is actually the output power. Okay. This is the actual power. Okay. The actual power is equal to WHP divided by pump efficiency into drive efficiency. Okay. There may be some drives may be there. Some direct drive or indirect drive may be there. So drive, the efficiency of the drive also accounted here. So then that is brake horsepower. This is the actual power. And the indicated horsepower is the final output power which is allowed in the pump pump. Okay, so indicated horsepower is it includes the motor efficiency also, because after coming through the pump, when it will account for the efficiency of the motor also. Okay, so this is known as indicated horsepower. But for calculation, we will calculate this brake horsepower. It is the main output power from the pump. It is equal to water horsepower divided by pump efficiency into drive efficiency. You have to just another important term you have to note down in the centrifugal pump is specific speed of the centrifugal pump. It is actually an index. It has no dimensions. The specific speed has no actually the specific speed has no dimensions. I'm sorry. Okay, no dimensions are there sometimes, and this specific speed is actually an index to the operating characteristics of the pump. Specific speed, the equation for calculating specific speed is n into root q divided by h raised to 3/2, where q is the pump speed, pump discharge, h is the total head, and n is the speed of the pump. When this value is higher, the efficiency of the pump will be maximum at higher specific speed. Okay, that is the indication. So this is another important term. And some other equations which have to be used, which we are using in the centrifugal pump portion, is affinity laws. Okay, these equations are normally used. What do you mean by affinity laws? Affinity means relation. Okay, a relation or closeness. So the relation between head, discharge, and brake horsepower of a pump with the diameter and speed of the impeller is known as affinity laws. Okay, the relationship between all these things is known as affinity laws. There are mainly 3 affinity laws: 1, 2, and 3. Okay, we will see each of them. The discharge of a pump is directly proportional to the speed and diameter. The discharge from a pump is directly proportional to the speed of the impeller and diameter of the impeller. So from this equation, you have to assume that discharge is directly proportional to speed and diameter. Second affinity law is the total head of a pump is directly proportional to the square of speed and square of diameter. Okay, head of a pump is directly proportional to the speed as well as directly proportional to the square of diameter. And the third law is power required for pumping is directly proportional to the third power of impeller speed and the third power of diameter. So these are the main 3 affinity laws. Another law is also there, net positive suction head. It is the head that have to be there at the bottom or suction side. Okay, water have to be sucked into the pump. Okay, so there is a need for some pressure at that point. That pressure is known as net positive suction head. Okay, so you may have seen that for sucking the water into the pump in our wells and all, we will place food valve. Food valves will be placed. So for this purpose only, food valves are placed for achieving that net positive suction head requirement. We will place the food valves. So the NPSHR also is directly proportional to the second power of impeller as well as diameter. This is not commonly used equation. These 3 are the normally used affinity laws which you have to study. So these are the important equations used in centrifugal pump. Now we'll move on to the problems. First problem. Are you there? Am I audible to you?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Now we will see this problem. Okay. Centrifugal pump works against static suction and delivery heads of 5 meter and 10 meter respectively. So static suction is 5 meter, delivery head is 10 meter. Okay. And yields a discharge of 25 liter per second. So discharge is 25 liter per second. The length of suction and delivery pipe are 10 meter and 50 meter respectively. The corresponding diameters are 125 millimeter and 100 millimeter respectively. The suction pipe is fitted with a food valve and delivery pipe is fitted with a 90-degree long radius elbow. So you have to account that. A 90-degree long radius elbow. 90-degree long means it is, what is that? There is a bend. So there may be some losses there. Friction factor for head loss in pipes equal to 0.028. friction loss is 0.028. Food valve loss friction factor is 0.028. Food valve loss is 1 meter. Coefficient K for 90-degree bend is 1.5. Calculate the horsepower of the pump if the overall efficiency is 45. So we will see the answer for this. So I have done the problem, and is it visible to you? Is it visible? Yes. The given quantities I have written here. The static suction is 5 meter, delivery head is 10 meter, discharge is 25 LPS, overall efficiency is 45, suction pipe length is 10 meter, diameter is 125, delivery pipe length is 5 meter, diameter is 100, friction head loss factor, that is 4F. Okay, friction head loss factor means 4F. 4FL V square divided by 2GD is the equation. So we have to choose 4F. 4F as the friction factor. It is 0.028. Food valve loss is 1. And coefficient of 90-degree bend is K is equal to 1.5. So these are the things which is given. We have to find the power. Okay. The equation for power you all know. That is QH divided by 75 is the equation for power. QH divided by 75. For that, we need two quantities. One is Q. Q is directly given here, 25 LPS. Okay. Now, the second thing you need is H. H is the total head. Okay. There are many, I have already explained you that for calculating head, we need mainly three quantities. One is the suction, and the other one is the delivery head, and the other one is the losses. All the losses we need. Okay. So, how we can calculate this H? That is our first thing. So H for suction is given as 5, delivery is given as 10. Many losses are there. So we have to calculate all the losses. Total static head is static suction plus delivery is 15 meter. That we know. Okay. The remaining things we are going to do. So we have two sides, suction side as well as delivery side. In our question, they have given us the friction factor as 4F. Okay, so friction factor is given. That means there are some friction losses in the delivery as well as the suction side. So we have to calculate the friction loss. The equation for friction loss is this. H is equal to 4FL V square divided by 2GD. For suction side, we are giving suffix S. And for delivery side, we are giving suffix D. Okay, all these quantities have to be known for calculating this head. Okay, we know 4F. 4F is directly given in our equation. LD, length of the delivery pipe and length of the suction pipe is given in our equation. DD and DS are also given in our question. The only quantity we don't know is the velocity of flow at the delivery side as well as the velocity of flow at the suction side. So that thing we have to find out. We have discharge. In our question, we have discharge. You all know that the discharge will be equal at the delivery side as well as the suction side. Okay, discharge means the okay. So discharge will be equal. Overall discharge will be equal. Okay. So Q is equal to ASVS. That is A into V. You all know discharge is area into product of area and velocity. So area is at suction side. It is pi by 4 ds square. Since it is a circle, pi by 4 ds square is the area, and Vs is the velocity at the suction side. From this equation, you can find Vs. Vs is equal to Q divided by pi by 4 ds square. ds is also given in your question, and Q is also given in your question. So you can easily calculate Vs. Similarly, you can calculate, it is not Vs, it is Vd. Okay, Vd you can calculate 3.18 meter cube per second. So from Vs and Vd, we can calculate Hs as well as Hd. Is this clear? Is this step clear for you?
Yes, miss. Yes, miss.
Yes. So you got friction losses at suction side as well as delivery side. You got. Now, and have to note down one point. When there is a question, in that question, what are the losses they have mentioned? That losses only you need to calculate. Okay. Other than that, you may not need. So in this question, there are no losses for enlargement. Pipe enlargement is not given. Contraction is not given. So that means that type of losses are not there in that system. If they have mentioned any kind of losses, then you can calculate that. Here there is a loss for food valve is given directly as 1. So that is accounted directly. Another loss is 90-degree long radius elbow. So for 90-degree bend, what was the equation we have calculated or we have found out? Do you remember the equation for 90-degree bend? The equation for 90-degree bend was kv square divided by 2g. We have seen that equation. Kv square divided by 2g. The velocity at the delivery side you have to calculate here, because this 90-degree elbow is at the delivery side. So the velocity of delivery side into k value they have already given in the question 1.5 divided by 2g. So this loss also you will get. So all the losses mentioned in the question is calculated here. Okay, so the total head is equal to all these losses plus suction head and delivery head. Suction head is 5, delivery head is 10. Total it is 15. So 15. Here 15 is there. Now head loss due to friction at the suction side, it is 0.4742. Head loss due to friction at the delivery side, it is 7.223. Plus this is the loss due to food valve. Directly given that there is a loss due to food valve as 1, it is directly taken. And finally, the loss due to the 90-degree elbow is 0.77. So our total head is calculated as 24.47. Now it is easy for you to calculate the power. Power is equal to QH divided by 75 into efficiency. Why we are giving here efficiency means they have given that overall efficiency is 0.45. So since efficiency is given, you have to calculate the correct power. Otherwise, if efficiency is not given, you can directly calculate QH divided by 75. Okay, 100% efficiency we can assume. In this case, 45% is the only efficiency. So we have to divide it by 45%. Q is discharge, 25 LPS. So 25 into total head is 24.47. Into 75 into 0.45, total 18.125 HP. Unit is HP. So this is the how we can calculate a power. Is there any doubts? Manasilayo? Manasilayi. ICR students? Dhruvraj, are you there? Dhruvraj Bakri. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Now the second problem is, this is a second problem. Hope you can see this. A centrifugal pump at its best point of efficiency discharges 0.03 meter cube of water per second, against a total head of 40 meter when the speed is 1450 rpm. Compute the specific speed. So this is a direct question. This is a very simple and direct question, but you have to see the units first. Okay. Here you have to calculate the specific speed. I have already shown you the equation for specific speed, so we'll see the answer. So this is our second question. Discharge at the best efficiency point. You have to see one thing. In this type of question, the best efficiency point, a term will be given because specific speed is calculated at the best efficiency. Maximum specific speed will be there for the best efficiency point. So discharge at best efficiency point Q is equal to 0.03 meter cube per second. Meter cube per second is the unit given. And total head is 40. Speed of the impeller is 1450 rpm. So Q, H and N are given. You can directly substitute the equation, the values in the equation, and you can get the answer. The thing you have to note here is the unit of Q. Okay. In case in the previous equation, question, I have told you that while calculating power, the unit of Q should be in LPS. Liter per second while calculating power. QH divided by 75, in that Q is LPS, liter per second. In the case, if you are calculating specific speed, then for using this equation, you have to give the value of Q in meter cube per second. Meter cube per second. In the question itself, they are giving the same unit. Meter cube per second is given. So no need of changing the unit. You can directly give here. And you can calculate 15.77 rpm. It is actually this NS The specific speed have no units actually. This RPM is sometimes written. Normally it is written as a non-unit. Okay, without any units it is written. Actual unit is RPM, but it is not given in such a unit. Since it is an index, it is given as a non-dimensional number. Okay, you can write RPM if you are using this equation. No problem if you are writing RPM. Okay, fine. Any doubts? No. Again, I am moving on to the next problem. A pump lifts 93,600 liters of water. This is a very important problem. This type of problems are always asked in GATE exam. A pump lifts 93,600 liters of water per hour, against a total head of 21 meter. Compute the water horsepower. It is easy only. Okay. Q is given, H is given. You can easily compute the water horsepower. The pump has an efficiency of, this is not 7.2, this is 72. Okay. Efficiency is not much less. So 72 will be that. There may be some mistake in 72%. What size prime mover is required to operate the pump? If a direct drive electric motor having an efficiency of 80% is used to operate. So this is motor efficiency. Is used to operate the pump. Compute the cost of electrical energy in a month of 30 days. The pump is operated for 12 hours daily for 30 days. Cost of electrical energy is rupees 2 per unit. So we will see. We'll see the answer. The discharge is given as 93,600 liter per hour. Okay. First thing is you have to convert this unit. Since you can calculate power by using only LPS units. Simple equation for power is in LPS units, Q in LPS. So you have to convert it into LPS unit. For converting it into LPS, what we have to do? This is 93,600 liter per hour. Per hour means hour is in the denominator. So what we have to do is for converting hour into second, you have to divide it by 3,600. Okay. Since hour is in denominator, you have to divide it by 3,600. When hour is in the numerator, you have to multiply it. Okay. Accordingly, it is according to your logic only. So 26 liter per second is there. Head is given as 21 meter. Pump efficiency is 72%. Motor efficiency is 80%. And the total operating hour is 12 hours. Pump is working for 12 hours for 30 days. 1 month, 13 days. 30 days are there. Every day the pump is working for 12 hours. Cost of electricity is 2 per unit of electricity. Unit of electricity means it is in kilowatt hour. Okay. You can see the meters. Electricity meters in your home and all, the unit will be kilowatt hour. So per kilowatt hour, the cost is 2. So you have to calculate the total cost of pumping. For that, what we have to do? We have to first find the water horsepower. That was our first question. Water horsepower is QH divided by 75. It is 26Q into H divided by 75. So the answer is 7.28 HP. Now the second thing is they have given us that the pump efficiency is 72%. I'm sorry. Okay. Pump efficiency is 72% they have given. So we can calculate the shaft horsepower as QH divided by 75 into pump efficiency is equal to 10.11 HP. Okay. And they have given us motor efficiency is 80%. Motor efficiency is 80%. So we can calculate the brake horsepower as QH divided by 75 into pump efficiency into motor efficiency. So you'll get 12.63 HP. Now I'm asking you one question. Why are you finding all these BHP, SHP and all? Why are you finding all these things? The reason is for calculating the power, actual power. Actual power is BHP only. Okay, brake horsepower is the actual power. By considering all the efficiencies only, we can calculate the actual power. So that we are considering all these things. Okay, all the efficiencies are considered here and we have calculated the brake horsepower. Now, this brake force basic unit. Okay, it is just for calculating the power only. It is not a basic unit. So we have to convert this HP into kilowatt. Kilowatt is the normal unit used. Okay. So how can we convert this HP into kilowatt? 1 HP is equal to 746 watts. That means 0.746 kilowatt. This thing you have to remember. 1 HP is equal to 746 watt, which means 0.746 kilowatt. So we have to multiply this 12.63 with 0.746 for getting this kilowatt reading. So we'll get 9.427 kilowatt. Now, total, so this is the energy. This is the brake horsepower of the pump when for 1 second. Okay. Okay. So this is the brake horsepower of the pump. Now we have to calculate the total energy consumption per month. 1 month, how much energy is consumed. So we can calculate the energy consumption by multiplying the number of days into number of hours into the brake horsepower. So you'll get the total amount of energy. You are using the pump for 12 hours in 30 days. Okay, so 12 into 30 into the brake horsepower that you have calculated to be multiplied. So you'll get the total energy consumption in kilowatt hour. Kilowatt hour, you will get the unit. So this is known as 1 unit of electricity. 1 kilowatt hour is known as 1 unit of electricity. Okay, so it can be otherwise written as units. Now, the cost of electricity you can easily calculate. The total cost of electricity is equal to cost per unit into number of units. This is the number of unit. Cost per unit is given as 2 rupees per unit. So 2 into 3393.92 will give 6787.85 rupees. So this is the total amount of electricity to be used for pumping for a month. Okay. Any doubt? Doubt or no? എന്തോ പറഞ്ഞോ എന്തോ ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഇത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കേണ്ട ആവശ്യമില്ല. ഡയറക്റ്റ് ആയിട്ട് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ബ്രേക്ക് ഹോഴ്സ് പവറിന്റെ ഇക്വേഷൻ ഇതാണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ യു ക്യാൻ ഡയറക്ട്ലി കാൽക്കുലേറ്റ് ദിസ്. ഓക്കെ, ബ്രേക്ക് ഹോഴ്സ് പവർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മോട്ടോർ ഹോഴ്സ് പവറും പമ്പ് ഹോഴ്സ് രണ്ടും കൂടെ കോപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളതാണ് ബ്രേക്ക് ഹോഴ്സ് പവർ. സോ ഇത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കേണ്ട കാര്യമില്ല, ഇതറിഞ്ഞാൽ മതി. ഓക്കെ, എന്തോ ഇതാണ് ആക്ച്വലി എടുക്കാറ്. ഇതേ ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ മോട്ടോർ ഹോഴ്സ് പവർ ആണ് BHP വാല്യൂ. ഇത് ജസ്റ്റ് നിങ്ങൾ അത് മനസ്സിലാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി മാത്രം കൊടുത്താണ്. ഓക്കെ, വേറെ എന്തെങ്കിലും? Any other doubts? So I will close the session by explaining one more problem. ഒരു വളരെ ഇമ്പോർട്ടന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം, നമ്മൾ ചെയ്ത് ഇതുവരെയുള്ള കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ കൊളാബറേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം അല്ല. So this is the problem. I hope there are no doubts for you. Okay, a farmer desires to raise the available moisture content in the field from 16% to a field capacity at 24%. Okay, 16% is available in the field. He desires to increase the moisture content in the field to 24%, which is the field capacity. Okay, by dry weight basis during an irrigation application. Each plot is divided into 0.2 hectare. Area is 0.2 hectare border strip that is required to be irrigated in 40 minutes with an application efficiency of 75%. So 40 minutes irrigation have to be given. The application efficiency is 75%. Now the question is, determine the horsepower requirement with a pumping plant efficiency of 60%. Pumping efficiency is 60% and conveyance efficiency is 85%, supplying an adequate discharge of water against a total head of 20 meter. Cost of irrigation for each strip is 1 per kilowatt hour. Assume root zone depth is 90 and apparent specific gravity is 1.4. So this is our question. All the quantities which are given there is written here. Now we have to find the HP. Okay, for finding power you need discharge first, right? Okay, discharge is needed, but here they have not given any discharge. Discharge is not given, but indirectly they have given something. They have given that the farmer wants to increase the moisture content from 16% to 24%. That is the field capacity moisture content. Apparent specific gravity is given. Root zone depth is given. This equation we have studied in last gate coaching class. So this is the equation for net depth of irrigation to be given. So farmer decides for increasing the moisture content from 16 to 24%. So the total irrigation depth required for that particular purpose is MFC minus M available divided by 100 into apparent specific gravity into root zone depth. That is the change in moisture content into apparent specific gravity into depth of the root zone. So all these quantities are given here. So you can calculate it as 10.08 centimeter. Total depth of irrigation needed is 10.08. Now, this is the depth of irrigation needed. But they have told us that the application efficiency is 75% only. If you are applying this much amount of water, it may not be sufficient for the plant because some losses may be there due to the application efficiency, lesser application efficiency. So that thing we have to account for. So the actual depth of water to be applied in the field is equal to this irrigation depth divided by the application efficiency. Okay. So that is divided by 0.75 will give 13.44 centimeter. So that means if you are applying 13.44 centimeter of water, then only the plant will get 10.08 centimeter of water. Okay, that is the thing. Now, this is only, what is this? This is only the water, depth of water. So the total volume of water needed in the field is area into this depth. Area is given as 0.2 hectare. So 0.2 into hectare is changed into meter square by multiplying it with 10 raised to 4 into this, this centimeter is converted into meter here. So the total volume of water needed in the field is 268.8 meter cube. Okay. Now, this water is actually pumped. Okay. We are pumping this water. We have to find the efficiency of the power of the pump. Okay. So, while it is pumped, that means the water have to move through some pipelines. Okay. Water have to move through some pipelines. That is, there is a conveyance system there. So, they have given that efficiency of the conveyance system is 85%. So the actual volume of water that you have to give is more than this. So we have to account the conveyance efficiency also. We have to divide this value with the conveyance efficiency for getting the actual volume of water. That is 316.23 meter cube of water. Now this is the volume of water only. For calculating the power, you need discharge, not the volume of water. You need discharge. Discharge means volume per time. Volume per time, volume by time. Okay. So volume is 316.23 meter cube. So meter cube is converted into liter by multiplying it with 1000 divided by, they have given that the irrigation time period is 40 minutes. We have to give irrigation for 40 minutes. So minutes is converted into seconds by multiplying it with 60. So you will get the discharge in pumping rate or discharge in 1 liter per second. 131.76 liter per second. Okay. Now you can easily calculate the water horsepower. Water horsepower is QH divided by 75. It is 35.13. Shaft horsepower, pump efficiency is given. So it is 58.56 HP. And finally, we have to find the brake horsepower. Okay. But in the question, they have not given the motor efficiency. They haven't given any motor efficiency. So we can assume that the motor efficiency is 100%. So 100% means we can assume that brake horsepower is equal to shaft horsepower. Okay. I hope you got the point. They haven't given the motor efficiency in the question. So in that case, we can assume that there is 100% motor efficiency. So this brake horsepower is equal to SHP itself. So 58.56 is the brake horsepower. Now this is in HP. So we have to convert it into kilowatt. So while converting it into kilowatt, we have to multiply it with 0.746. So this much kilowatt is there. Now electrical energy consumed. We are using the pump for 40 minutes. 40 minutes only. So the electrical energy consumed is equal to 43 into 40 minutes. Minutes can be converted to hour. We have to calculate the unit in kilowatt hour. Okay. So this minutes is converted into hour by dividing it with the second, 60. So you'll get 28.69 kilowatt hour. Now the cost of electricity is given as 1 rupees per kilowatt hour. So the total cost is 28.69 rupees for one time irrigation. For one time irrigation. So this is the answer for this. I hope you got it. Any doubt? Doubt undo? This is a very important problem. So ഇതൊരു മൂന്ന് സിസ്റ്റംസ് മൂന്ന് സ്ഥലങ്ങൾ മൂന്ന് ടോപ്പിക്സ് കൊളാബറേറ്റ് ചെയ്തിട്ടേക്കുന്നത്. So this is a very important problem. Similar problem for specific speed is given here. This one you have to try. And this is also a similar problem for finding the pumper, what is that, brake horsepower and all. So this one also you have to do. Losses you have to calculate and find the brake horsepower. I hope you got all these points. Any doubts? Any doubts? ഇതിൽ ആരൊക്കെയാ ശരിക്കും ഗേറ്റ് എഴുതാൻ പോകുന്നത്? എല്ലാരും എഴുതുന്നുണ്ടോ? പക്ഷെ ആരും എഴുതാൻ പോകുന്ന പോലെ ഒന്നും തോന്നുന്നില്ലല്ലോ. ഒരു ഡൗട്ടും ഇല്ല ആർക്കും.
അത് മിസ് പറയുമ്പോ മനസ്സിലാവുന്നുണ്ട് മിസ്. പിന്നെ ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴുള്ള ഒരു പ്രശ്നം മാത്രമാണ്.
എന്നിട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞ പ്രാവശ്യം ചെയ്തതാരും ഡൗട്ട് ചോദിച്ചില്ലല്ലോ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോ ആൻസർ ചെയ്തിട്ട്.